contribution made by members at a regular interval, maybe 6 month interval or a year interval. So, and most of the time, they can be paid in arrears or in advance. Now, subscription in arrears. This is the sum of money due from member for a particular year, but which has not been paid for that year. You know, when we're talking about arrears, it's an outstanding subscription that are supposed to be paid. So if that is an asset on the side of the non-profit organization, because it is the member that are owing them the subscription that is due for them to pay. So it is treated as current asset in the balance sheet. You will see that the subscription in arrears will definitely appear where we are preparing balance sheet. You see that when we get to the question. Then we have subscription in advance. That means it is the sum of money prepaid by the member of the club representing their dues for next year. It is treated as liability in the balance sheet. Now, subscription in advance is subscription that member has paid for next year. That means if subscription is to be 2,000 and maybe member pay 4,000 for that year, that means they have paid this year and they have paid that of next year. So that of next year is the liability to the organization. So they are the one that is owing their member 1 year advance. So you see how we treat them in the question when we get to the illustration. Now there's another thing I want us to lay emphasis on. It's very important, and it's something that you cannot overlook when we are preparing a balance sheet. Then that is the accumulated fund. Accumulated fund is the excess of asset over liability of non-profit making organization. It is the capital of non-profit making association. Now, here, accumulation is the word used to represent capital. You know, when a company is a profit making organization, we use capital because capital is what you use to start a business. But here, it is not mainly for making profit. So the word used for representing capital is accumulated fund. That means this fund is that they use this fund to fund the organization. But capital is used to start the organization. But accumulated fund is also the same thing. The way we prepare that of balance sheet, that excess of asset over liability will give you accumulated fund. So it is a word used to represent the capital because it is a non-profit organization. So we then go to balance sheet. I will prepare balance sheet of the non-profit making organization. You see at the top we have the accumulated fund, we have current liability, we have subscription in advance, we have prepaid. Exactly the way we prepare that of balance sheet. That's no different. So that is how we prepare them. We have fixed assets on the side. You have land and building, equipment, motor van, plant and machinery. We have subscription like I've explained. Subscription in arrears is the current asset, and I think it has been given to you in the explanation. And subscription in advance is the liability to the company. So at the end of the day, you balance your balance sheet at the end of the day. Now, here we go. Let's go to the illustration to buttress what I've been explaining recently. So now in the question we have the receipt and payment of Ranger Club. Ranger Club, anything that has to do with club, different type. We have a club, we have association, we call them non-profit organization. Even we have there are some clubs like Rotary Club. Anything that has to do with that, it involves coming together of people, members, to protect the interest and to promote that group. So we call them non-profit. So it is a club. So the receipt and payment is summarized below for the year 31st December 1996. Here we go. These are the information we have. This is the receipt and payment of which I have explained to you. You know, on the receipt side we have money that comes in, and on the payment side we have money that goes out. That is let's start from the receipt side. We have balance BF, we have bar sales. That means they are running bar. They are running bar whereby they sell soft drinks. So the member, and when they sell soft drinks, they take money from them So it is money that comes into the organization. We have donation receipts of users of facility club and social. We have water on the payment side, back purchase, repayment of loan, and the likes. Now, having done that, you see that the balance BD represents closing cash, which is 17 at the end of the day. You see that all this information we given here, we are going to do justice to them, take it one about the other, when we are asked to prepare income and expenditure. And that's why I told you the reason why we are preparing receipts and payment is to know the closing cash. You know, when the cash comes in and cash goes out, then you want to get the closing cash at the end of the day. So the closing cash is 17, of which it is a current, we call it current asset, so it is a real account. So we definitely need that closing balance when we are preparing our balance sheet. You see when we get to the preparation of a non-profit organization. So here we are given additional information, and there is no way you won't come across additional information, because it is anything that has to do with the trading profit and loss account, anything like that, you are going to come across additional information. And now we are given 2 balance sheets. We call this statement of affairs. We are given the first year and we are given the second year. So that means the company prepares account, they close the account 31/12/1995. But here, the first one, which is a 1st January 1995, is what we call opening balance sheet. That means the balance sheet they have last year, it is a let's assume balance sheet of last year. Closing balance sheet of last year will form opening balance sheet this year, since the company is closing the account 31/12/1995. So we will need the 2 information. We'll prepare, and that of 1/1/95, we call it statement of affairs. While that of 31/12/1995, we call it balance sheet. It's also the same thing. So the reason why we are given is to get our accumulated fund at the end of the day. So we have many information like that, whereby we have received from the users of club, facilities in advance, owing by users of club facilities. The pavilion as at 1st January 1995 was 13,698. We have the decision should be 498 for the year. Now, recorded, we are required A, to calculate the accumulated fund, B, prepare trading profit, trading account, bar trading account, whereby you are told to prepare income and expenditure, which is the same thing as the profit and loss, and prepare balance sheet as at that date. We follow step one after the other. We calculate A, we calculate B, we calculate C, and calculate D, and then we must balance our account at the end of the day. So let's go to the question and begin to try them one after the other. So let's prepare the first one, calculate the accumulated fund. Before we can calculate the accumulated fund, then we have to prepare the statement of affairs of January 1, 1995, which is given in the additional information. If you look at the additional information, you see that it is there. So you write Rangers Club statement of affairs. I told you it is the opening balance sheet. It's also called opening balance sheet. So January 1995. So we want to ascertain our accumulated fund. So let's begin to take the information one by one. Fixed assets. From the additional information, we have fixed assets. Let's look at the question. We have the value of pavilion as at 4th January is 1995 was 13,690. So we write pavilion 13,000. we are not going to depreciate it now because it has depreciation and the depreciation is 498. It is when we prepare balance sheet that then we adjust for it. What we just do here, we write information that pertain to 1195. We just write it here so as to get our accumulated fund. So current, we don't have any fixed asset again. So then let's go to fixed current asset. We have cash. Don't forget in the question receipts and payment, closing cash, which is balance CD 17. Opening balance, which is balance BF. That is what we use in the statement of affairs. But that of closing balance, which is 17, will be used in the balance sheet. So cash is 1067. Just look at it. Then we have a bar stock. Is a closing stock. Is a current asset of the company. Then we have a bad debtors. We have 231. Then we have a rate prepaid 68. Then we have owing by user 778. So if you add it, you have 2435. So then you balance it, you have 16,130.